rounding off our final world tour of PlayStation's Way of the Samurai. Lordy lordy, it is one Akira Kurosawa. Yes, genius Kurosawa himself. And his masterpiece known as Ran. Real quickly, Ran is apparently an adaptation of Shakespeare's King Lear, which, for those of us who don't know, is kind of a guy out there. And in this adaptation of said king slash lord getting ready for retirement by leaving his 3 pieces of his kingdom to his 3 offspring, right? King Lear has females, Rand has 3 sons to the feudal lord, or the lord, whatever. And it's an interesting plot of where the family bonding, like family ties, and where ambition and where the crutch of the crutch of Inran, right? The crutch of human or man's folly, which would be said le woman. Adam had Eve, and in the film of Ran, we have an interesting plot where, yes, these 3 young brothers have been giving their father's remaining lands to sort of govern, to sort of operate, to sort of support each other, right? In a father's hope, or in his dream, or in his end goal, he would want the 3 siblings to work together to help each other and hopefully love each other, which I feel was the interesting hints that we get in the beginning, because at the beginning of this film, you're presented with a gathering of the siblings and the father. The father is ready to just tell them something, or maybe he was just feeling like alone or something. But in this meeting, you get a couple of the siblings who sort of react negatively to their father's actions. And he even asks, "You seem to be acting strange," as in the father being caring to his sons is something unfamiliar to them. And now in his end goal, now when he is ready to retire, the old man is ready to say, open up, to love his children. But naturally, they're not children. And these minds that grow, that become independent, have their own ambitions, their own goals. And this is where things go wrong, unfortunately, for this old man who was just looking to retire in his end of days, is now sort of being presented with the fruits that he has sown, which is great. Poor guy has been essentially pushed to a corner where he no longer feels like he is in control. It's that famous Batman's The Dark Knight Rises scene where Bane puts the guy on the hand on that one guy's shoulder, and he goes like, "Do you feel in control?" And then that kind of gives the implication that, like, okay, old man, your time is done. Which, sure, should be the normal, like, set things, right? What is interesting here is how the old man takes it. Because there was a moment for the old man to be like, okay, I signed away my decree, and he didn't want to be separated by his men. He signed my decree, and I no longer choose to have power over the older brother's like house. Now I am just whatever to the state. And just like that, everything starts to tumble down. Instead of say like letting go of his men and legitimately going for retirement, he decides to leave his son's domain in hopes to go to the second son's domain, and so begins the journey of Old Man. I don't know why it's called Ran. I might have missed that part, but I assume this guy ran miles and his poor men ran miles to get to said son's castle, only to keep on receiving the same kind of sentiment of like, listen, old man, you ain't shit no more. we're not gonna take care of you here. And it only comes to the third son, because when this whole meeting went down, the only one to actually like stand up and be like, nah dog, this is all wrong, you're gonna lose yourself if you separate these three houses, was the third son, who was in opposition to his father's wishes. And even when the son was presented with like being banned, exiled from the lands, he still put up like this kind of idea of like, no, if you let go of your power like this, then there won't be anything left. Like, you won't be in a good position. These guys don't care. These two dudes, they don't care. They'll kick you out or whatever. He saw this coming a mile away, and he tried to warn his father, but when he gets exiled, it actually gives him, like the third son, the ability to create his own nation outside of every scandal happening within the first and the second son's domains. So interesting how really well written story by Shakespeare can pan out. But it is in this said liberty, this freedom, and the third son's group of company who have this like this Spartan-like will of trust in their commander, that are able to actually give the old man shelter, right? And the way they do this is by formulating some super cool, interesting samurai action plan. You know, when you get your first house, your second house, and your three houses ready to kind of attack each other, they devise a plan to have them kind of cover each other and find a way to the old man. And it was really cool to see that in terms of how strategy works, especially in said wartime films, right? You think about something like Saving Private Ryan, which is a very well-known World War II film, but when you really bring it back, before all the cannons and the explosions, all we really had was, besides this old guy, Akira Kurosawa, all we really had was formations and manpower. So in terms of like this being a spectacle, I do believe this is one of the most production valued type of things. It feels grand in scale, whether that be because each castle has their own color coordination, or whether that be just because the director Akira knows what he was doing with his vision, and it looks pretty damn intense. Apparently this is the man's last film, or his directed film, so it comes to show just how much lessons, how much like ideas were able to be presented in this adaptation of a Shakespeare film. Very damn cool, if I do say so myself. Because we get to the finale. That woman has issues, lots of issues. And why do I say woman? Because this woman not only is able to destroy the first son's, let's call it self-respect, and in flow taking his life, right, getting him killed by accident. But she decides that the best thing to do to stay in power is to marry the second son. And holy shit, I didn't think it was gonna work. But damn, these dudes have no power. And yeah, so seeing how an empire could fall, we do know that the Battle of Troy was over the queen or princess of Hilda of the other one. Yeah, so wars have been carried out before by women. We know about that. There's actually a fun little soliloquy where the guy talks about how fox, demon spirits, yokai women are the ones that bring men to wars, or it doesn't matter. But you know, things to note, things to understand, things to even take note of, that even in the year of 1985, there was, and prior to that, decades prior to that, men were as stupid as they were today. So, poor man is losing his mind, has not eaten, he is essentially homeless. Most of his men are dead. If not, they're probably gone. Or some have even betrayed him, because most of the dudes are being like, oh, we don't even have anywhere to go. We'll just get the hell out of here, make a deal, and take off. And this dude finally finds reprise in finding his son, or his son finding him. And damn, is the third son the best damn son ever? Yeah, he is, because he's not an asshole. He is an asshole, right? Because in the beginning he's like, nah, man, Dad, you're stupid. You're stupid, man. You're gonna lose everything. But when it really counts, the son is there, and he's trying to support his father for his moments. And let's just say that it wouldn't be a Shakespeare story without Shakespeare tragedy. And there's buckets of tragic sauce to go around. So definitely, if you're curious about that, if you're wondering what Shakespeare is all about, I would say this is a damn good place to start. It has been a wonderful journey to see these films present themselves, and how each timeline, each generation is unique in its own way, or has its own kind of spectacle to focus in on. And if I never have to go to another animal draft house, then it'll be too damn soon. But as I say that, I finally realize that Sony Pictures Company owns Alamo Draft House. So you can look forward to more bullshit like this in the future. Damn, I hate that place. But if you are curious about what samurais are all about, if you have been looking for the way of the samurai, then I'd highly recommend our little playlist. You can check out each movie that has been talked about. I try not to spoil too many things or too many plot points, because I really like people to feel emotions when they go through these experiences. But definitely, I believe that you'll find some interesting things to look forward. But hey, I'm going to go. There's no news of the week to this week, because we're gonna go out to an Anaheim Convention Center to do stuff. Some stuff. Thank you for the invite. I appreciate that. Love you. And I hope you all take care. You have a fun time out there. Stay safe. It is a Memorial Day weekend. Maybe we'll do the news tomorrow. I'll think about it. There's too many people like having their day off, so I'd rather not be annoying that one annoying roommate. So please, y'all take care. Enjoy yourselves if you can. And as always, have fun. Stay safe. I love you too. Ja. Mate.